Today on Broncos Actually, we are joined by communications alum Jordan Knopf, who shares how he applies empathy to the television industry. What made you choose Santa Clara University?
I am a proud member of the Bronco family for a couple generations. So my dad and uncle had both attended Santa Clara, had the opportunity as my older brother was attending to go down and have a couple visits. It was phenomenal. Beyond the campus, just having an opportunity to engage with some of the students and really feeling that connection, it felt like a natural fit for me. And I'm really grateful that I followed through on that. For me, what caught my interest initially was the field of communication and having the opportunity to focus around the television industry in particular. And so the television production side was something that I decided to pursue. And that was my emphasis within the communication field. And then also I had a minor in political science. One of my favorite memories was actually creating student films where I would enlist all of my roommates as starring characters in my films, which are typically gangster, film noir. I had a blast doing it. I loved coming up with the concept, sketching it out, and then seeing it through to creation and actually having a product at the end of it.
What is your definition of an entrepreneurial mindset?
I mean, I was very hesitant to say that I was a salesperson just because of the stereotype that I perceived, for one. And I think, again, how you define being an entrepreneur or having that type of mindset is really about, again, not that it puts you in a box, but it is a way in which you are approaching business as a whole, and also the contribution that you can make within the business that you're serving. We look to everyone within our organization to be mindful of opportunities that they may see, or to call out when they feel as though something's not working. How can we make something better? And it's not always going to come from the few people that are gathering in the conference room or the corner office to come up with those great ideas. So those people that adopt that mindset, I believe, are going to be better served in terms of their opportunity to make a meaningful contribution and also rise within the organization. And if they choose to take that experience elsewhere and maybe chart their own course or help support another business moving forward.
Who would you say are your key stakeholders?
Two primary ones in my direct role are going to be our client partners, the individuals that we work hand in hand with to help support their businesses. Obviously, there's no shortage of choices or opportunities they have in terms of where they may want to invest their marketing spend. So we really take that partnership seriously, and we want to make sure that it proves out for them. The second major and obvious stakeholder for me, again, are my team members, being aware of what their career ambitions and goals are, understanding the challenges that they're facing on a day-to-day basis, and being hopefully a sounding board that they trust and can come to for guidance and support, or sometimes just to vent. And obviously everyone has dealt with their fair share of frustrations over the course of the last 2 years, and you have to try to meet people and recognize that their reality and what may be going on behind the screen or the background that I can't tell, that I'm faced with, is unique to them.
How do you apply empathy to your work?
So for us, it's really about understanding what the need of that business may be within that unique period of time. And then we look for potential content based on research that's going to show how we can bring the right audience and meet it with that message. In terms of the empathy component of that, right now, really taking into account the business challenges we know that they're facing as well. And for many of them, they had to make some really tough decisions in terms of cutting down on their employees, closing stores, having to make those calls that for years weren't realities. And so we wanted to make sure that we were proactive in our relationship with them and working with them to identify what was feasible in terms of investment. And if they couldn't make an investment, we knew we wanted to stand by their side during this most challenging time and keep their message present in the community. So that was something that we elected to do and wanted to make sure that they recognized, again, we weren't just looking for them with our hand constantly out saying, hey, you got to continue to invest. We work hand in hand with the consumer So we always need to make sure that we're listening to what the consumer wants and that we have the ability to meet them in that space. Obviously, there's a great deal of fear that's out there for a number of reasons. I feel like a lot of people have been faced with a lot of challenging news over the course of the last 2 years. So how do you find that balance in a way that people, again, are informed, but they're done so in an accurate manner that's not overly alarmist, but also that can give people hope and hopefully provide some solutions as they go about their day as well.
What advice would you give to current SCU students?
It is, again, a unique time in your life where you're at that intersection of great opportunity around learning, but also the ability to apply it in a meaningful way. You get caught up in getting out of school and I want to make money and I want to gravitate toward that job that's going to pay, a couple $1,000s more, as opposed to really taking a step back and looking around and saying, okay, what's so-and-so doing? That really interests me. I want to engage in a conversation with he or she and determine whether or not there's something there for me that might be, my true calling or give me that exposure that I've been searching for. There are a number of executives or individuals working within organizations that would be more than happy to engage with students. And I know there's always that sense of intimidation or anxiety when you're reaching out and wondering whether or not, is this person going to give me the time of day? I think students would be pleasantly surprised to know how many people are willing to give them that time and opportunity to share with them their experience, but also to hopefully, give them some sound advice and insights to help. So I would encourage the students really to take advantage of the Santa Clara network, not be afraid to reach out.
Thank you, Jordan. Make sure to subscribe below to check out our next video.